Welcome back to the decider here between Cloud9 and Counter Logic Gaming. Best of 3, the first match of the summer split. Both these teams powering to be probably top 3 in North America here. And it comes down to this one. No subs. Raze getting the entire series here over Impact. So Cloud9 clearly relying on him for a lot of their pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is where some of them kind of talked about the team was looking to move, but still a little bit surprising for fans not to see him, pop in ever. This is deciding game number 3, though. Super exciting game number 2. If you guys missed it, tons of team fighting, lots of really interesting engages. The macro game, as they have talked about, was not so good. And we'll see if that does switch it up here in game number 3, the critical one to decide who's going to be first place in the North American LCS.
Alone in first in North America, the king of the hill, at least until the next match ends, and then they'll be tied. But in the meantime, LeBlanc, Shen off the table, and as we compare back to the game 1 bans, I believe they're identical so far. Fiora, Elise, and Ivern would round out the 6 from the first one. Of course, they're back on the same sides as game 1. There's the Elise, and so
now, do you slot in a Xayah or Rakan ban as Cloud9?
Xayah.
The answer to our question.
And probably is the stronger of the 2 as a standalone, in my opinion anyway.
I definitely do think so. I mean, Aphromoo really made Rakan look good.
Yeah.
It was often in combination with at least one other member, though. And we did talk about the extra ranges and small bonuses that they do get together. It's still very possible to do a Rakan Ori combination.
Oh, sure.
On their own, and you just have to look out for the flashes, but a little bit less likely. Ray gonna give the fans what they want there with the hovers.
Yeah, of course. Well, maybe Yas will come in. Lulu actually be the first pick here, so moving up in priority pretty rapidly there. Set in a first pick, Lulu, even though CLG had not shown they really wanted to play it that quickly. And again, CLG, their first possible pick has been Gragas all 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely in love with Gragas for themselves. Definitely, they've already shown that it is a flex pick as well. So it adds a little bit more credibility to the early picks of Gragas. We talked about, we saw more jungle bans come through afterwards. And it might have, contributed a little bit to that. But Stixxay on his famous Caitlyn.
Yeah, back on this one. It is interesting with how fat Gragas is. There's got to be a lot of muscles under there for all the flexing he does. And he's going to be maybe doing that again here.
Got to carry himself around the rift all day long.
I mean, the best way to train your legs is just gain weight. Because, that's always in work. So
also carry around giant barrels of booze.
Also, or brew or drink or whatever it actually is. I don't know if it's technically always alcohol. I don't know. It's up to ESR.
In the lore, it's 100% wine.
All right. You know what? Then you're right, and I rescind what I said. Ashe comes through here, actually. They're going to hop off the Varus train, but Sneaky's still playing utility in the bot lane.
Yeah, I know so many AD carries really like the matchup. Ashe into Caitlyn. To be able to push that one early. See if they can actually get control there, because this is a lot of playmaking as well. Adding the Ashe also so much of that pick potential for later in the game. If we do have so much of it being team fight based, see if C9 comboing an Ashe arrow plus a Kennen engage could be meaningful for themselves.
Looks like this time around Cloud9 is tired of not having pressure in top lane, and Kennen, one of the very premier top laners right now in professional League of Legends. Lots of lane priority, beats up on tanks for a living, basically. And that'll be the grab here for Ray. Lee Sin gonna go alongside it. On the other side, Dardoch gonna get his Lee Sin that he had done well on the first game. And that means that Darshan is definitely saying, yeah, I'll play Gragas top and a Kennen, that's fine with me.
And one of the drawbacks of Ashe, obviously no escape of her own. Yes, she does have Lulu on her team, but one of the AD carries you can feel comfortable about trying to make Gragas or Lee Sin plays onto. This does, however, solidify that it is Gragas top lane.
Yeah. Opting into the Kennen matchup, as we had mentioned. So, time for some jungle bans. Last time around, they had added Kha'Zix to this pool to try to push contracts down. We'll see if that happens. They figured the Xayah ban wasn't enough. Zyra must also be added. I'm glad I don't have to cast them together in the same game. Ivern actually going to be added, as that was actually dropped off the ban table from the very first compared to the first game, as they added Galio to the mix. So, yeah, the Kha'Zix is available. Graves might be up there as well. We've seen some teams like Graves.
Yeah, I mean, Contracts is really getting pushed down the list. He doesn't have too many options left. Graves is the last, highest remaining as far as the standard tier list goes, but that generally, pushes you a little bit more towards the farming, and would make Cloud9 more mid-game oriented. Kennen really loves to go for, you know, punishing the lane enemy and pushing him in and getting harassment, forcing him to miss CS under turret, getting damage on the turret as well. And that
Ooh, Bard, yes.
Aframo looking for multiple highlight games for himself. His Bard in the past has been incredibly critical. Bard also got really big buffs, honestly, in preseason. Huge damage buffs with the way that meeps work now.
Yeah, basically, the damage stack's about the same, but you're getting the slows, you're getting the cone AoEs, you're getting more meeps, the recharging faster. It is very easy to get incredibly powerful meeps out there. I've seen plenty of games where Bard is top 3 damage on the team, and it's amongst all the other damage dealers. If he plays well, it's going to be great. The Kazakhs will come through for contract.
And I like this one more than the Graves option for contracts, because you can go a bit more offensive. And people are always like, oh, you know, Kazakhs is so risky. He doesn't bring CC for the early ganks, but the damage cannot be underestimated. Isolation does apply early on, and it can be very scary in the early 2v1s, especially.
And Cloud9 going to round out their lineup with the blind picked Ahri. They banned away Syndra, they banned away LeBlanc. No other mid laners have been removed unless you count the Galio, which you might. And Ahri's been grabbed up as the number 3 mid laner of the game here in this one. And CounterLogic Gaming hoping to counterpick that. And we've seen Orianna win the laning phase against her. It's going to be Aurelion Sol, the Hoo-Hee trademark.
Oh,
see if they can make this one happen.
So much mobility and long-range potential from the CLG lineup. Obviously, Hoo-Hee's Aurelion Sol is known worldwide.
Yeah.
But you can also set these plays up very easily with a Bard ultimate. You know, even if they could see him coming, then you don't have any time to get out. And then the possibilities of Gragas and Lee Sin playmaking, like I said, can be very unreliable and do require, you know, some very good execution to actually pull them off well. So no, the potential here for the CLG team they've drafted is pretty high. It is going to require large execution though. Meanwhile, Cloud9, they don't have any tanks on their team. Nobody even resembling semi-tank on the team. They will rely on their crowd control and their Lulu defenses as well to pull off any sort of skirmishes for themselves. I think they are very well set up for skirmishes though.
Okay.
We
will see how the Cloud9 skirmishing goes, or how well the playmaking of CounterLogic Gaming can withstand this. Aurelion Sol for Hoo-Hee, again, the trademark in Bard's Aframu, or Aframu's Bard, whichever way you want to put it there. But certainly one they know about very well. I feel like Bard plays you and you're along for the ride. The champion has got him out of its own sometimes. It's going to be a fun one to watch for the decider here. The battle for first place and last place essentially on the line here is the first one of the split. And honestly, 2 amazing teams. Crowd ready to cheer on their favorite squads. Nice Tibbers plush there alongside the Cloud9 fans. The signs weren't held up long enough to read them. Sorry, guys, but it's time for Game 3 as Cloud9 look to close it out. Or CounterLogic Gaming look to complete the reverse sweep in a BO3 fashion here as Cloud9 takes on CounterLogic Gaming in Game 3.
Oh, baby, we get to see Ray, one of the most highly acclaimed, you know, 1v1 top laners in a matchup where Kennen is one of the most banned top laners, simply of how oppressive he is in lane. So I'm very, very good to see how Ray is actually going to be able to utilize this champion if he can get the early punish down. That being said, though, on the other side, CLG with iconic champions for their 3 members here, Dardox Lee Sin, Hoo-Hee's Aurelion Sol, and Stixay's Caitlyn. Pretty much 3 of their most well-known.
Absolutely agree.
I'm kind of hesitant to put Aframu's Bard in there with that one because he's
Alistair, Morgana.
He actually has so many.
Now Rakan.
Yeah, now Rakan. One game.
That
boom,
trademark Aframu Rakan. Or he 1v5.
Hit him with the classic. Wraith Wards coming in here. CLG already got theirs down. And Cloud9, I wonder if they even still want to go for it, as they've already seen Dardoch on that side. So you can just assume that he's starting either Red or Raptors. And there's not too big of a difference. He actually is going to start Red. And due to their ward on C9's Raptors, is going to assume that Contracts is still on this side. So if both of them are making the more likely assumptions, like very, very high percentage assumptions here, they should both know they're starting on the top side, and the possibility of ending double buff bottom side is definitely there. So bottom lane should watch out.
Yep. And Hoo-Hee actually can easily steal away the Raptors away from this Kazi. You can see he's hugging the bot side, kills off the thing, and then he should have a time to kill at least one of the small raptors away, and looks like that's going to be the play here.
Watch the stars.
Okay, it's just going to be for the ward. I take it back. Didn't kill him nearly fast enough. I guess they've gotten a lot more health over the last few patches, and I haven't seen Aurelion so much since then.
Classic Freak troll.
Classic Freak, still bad at every call I've made so far this cast, but he will at least track when Contracts gets down there. And there's a stun. Dodges the charm. Sick trade out of Huhi.
Actually, really incredibly favorable for him.
And now they see Contracts.
He almost burned an entire health potion's worth of HP off of him down there. And do they get vision of Dardoch? Negative. Shoots it upwards. Going for the invade, though. Defensive ward was already placed by Jensen.
Trying to fight him on the red, and there's not much to do. It's just Contracts repeatedly being pushed out of his jungle. After ignited, though, running around at health pretty rapidly. The heal's already been used. One more attack would kill him off, and he's going to self-heal and not get much more. Sneaky did not go for the chase. He's going to run away and go back to his side of the lane. All right.
Impressive trade right there, and I actually really like the exchange. Smoothie's Ignite for Aframu's flash, as well as the heal coming out. So that bottom lane that we're talking about, wanting to be fairly careful here, is going to have to stay with that strategy. Dardoch now going to be down in levels, though, to Contracts on their Kha'Zix, because he spent so much time trying to force this invade and force these plays on Contracts' side. This Kha'Zix getting ahead in levels could be very big. We mentioned the isolation damage. Lee Sin is outplayable in that duel, and you can really get to the point where it doesn't matter. Kha'Zix doesn't even care about jumping onto Lee Sin. If you have level advantage and Lee Sin is isolated, becomes trivial as far as how much counter damage Lee Sin can put back out if you get the first Q off.
Well, we'll see how the fight goes. Contract's going to continue to clear his side of the jungle for now. Smites the Krug. One of the best possible smite targets for a Kha'Zix that has so much armor. You kill it slowly otherwise. Huhi waiting to see if he wants to roam somewhere. Walks by a ward just now. Good semi-deep ward by Ray, and you can see as soon as he walks by, there's the rush to get away.
Should be just fine in this one. Is pushing into the turret, but Darshan's having just an easy time CSing here, not getting bullied too heavily. That doesn't really start to come in until the extra items here for harassment. Both junglers, though. Look at this counter setup.
Can he journey away? Doesn't seem to get the chance to do it. First blood comes through. Immediate kill comes in. Nicely done by Contracts. And for some reason, Aframu did not have magical journey at level 3.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say...
He has rank 2 Q for no reason. You should never do that.
I was going to say the reason Smoothie flashes here is to deny the magical journey. However, if you just moused over Aframu and he doesn't have it scaled up...
And that's a bad mistake. You don't do that. Like, ever.
And even so... Yeah. All right, well, that is going to be a good punish by Cloud9. They burn the flash early on Aframu, head back there, and because of no magical journey, he goes down for first blood. As we said, the Kha'Zix versus Lee Sin matchup, add a first blood in there for the Kha'Zix, and Contracts is feeling very good about the way game number 3 is going so far.
Yeah, got to agree. 700 gold lead feels pretty solid. Cloud9 off to a good start. The fact that, again, Kha'Zix has done so well. We'll see what else can happen here on this one. Ray uses his first TP to get back to lane just after Darshan had. A couple of daggers in for him. The Doran's blade added as well.
Dardoch actually still able to get the experience lead, and with that experience lead, can chase Contracts out of the river, take down its ward, and claim the scuttle as his prize.
Oh man, huge plays out of Dardoch so far. Now who he wants to roam, of course, TP is down for Ray. Here comes the assault, the attack in for this one. Can they get the damage across? Looking for the stun. And they're not going to get it just yet, but there's a slow waiting for him. Ult comes in for Ray, will stun off. Here comes the roam in for the rest of the team, but they don't have the damage for it. And no, the ulti, the ignite, it's not going to be enough, and Ray survives.
5 members of CLG are top. They also rotated Stixay, so in addition to looking for the kill, they're going to look for the first turret with everybody up there. They're channeling Darshan recall. He doesn't have teleport, though.
Yeah, but Stixay does have a BF sword off that recall, so they time it off having tons of attack damage available, and it's going to be a pretty close race, I think, across these two teams.
Unless Contracts actually decides to play risky and go in there. All right, did they clear out the wave?
Yeah. He saved 2 turret shots there with the W, and it's going to be Cloud9 who just with the standard laning members get first turret gold. They got the gank off of first blood. They got the first turret as well. This is Cloud9 with, for the first time this series, a great early game.
Yeah, CLG actually incredibly behind after that failed 5-man play topside. They lose out on not only getting that kill with everyone, but also the first turret gold going over. Really big start.
Gold. 950 gold as first blood plus assist, and the extra gold from first turret. That's the lead, exactly as Cloud9 have it, and that's the plays that have been made so far this game. Farms otherwise been equal, so C9, what can they do with this? They have been a bit slower of a team otherwise. They've been taking their time with these games for the most part, but this time they have no tanks, and late game team fight with no tanks is going to be hard.
Plus, I mean, this is a bottom turret traded with an Infernal Drake up. So Cloud9, not only did they get extra CS on on Sneaky, because Sneaky got to stay down there, kill the turret, and land all the CS, they also have so much control over this blue quadrant of CLG's jungle that they can ward it up. That leads up to an Infernal Drake and can help out with the snowballing here. The high damage composition.
As Ray's TPs comes back up, Contract's going to jump away from Dardoch and the rest of the
Yeah, he's not isolated. That's too many.
Yeah, but no TP available, and he's still working through the lane. CLG have 5 down here, and there is no Ray in sight.
Yeah, they realize they want to make a power move before Cloud9 can actually bring all resources down. Does Contract go for the leap smite into flash out for a steal?
Looks like he wants to try. Can they get him away with this one? Gonna go for the snipe, not gonna go for much more!
You're kidding! He got it with the
No, it was the dot from Talisman! The smite came early, and Talisman took the kill on the Drake! That's 5 damage per second mitigated by magic resist! That should never happen!
That is one of the most insane steals I've actually ever seen!
I don't think there's a less damaging ability to steal with. This W hits early, look!
Oh my God!
5 damage per second!
It actually insta-dies off the smite because it's only like 2 health and ticks immediately after.
That is so tilting for CLG, and Contract's like, oh, I missed, guys. Wait, why do we have a Drake now?
God. Oh, Dardoch is gonna be so tilted after that. Holy moly. They did everything to chase him off too. Had 5 members on it, pulled the dragon out.
They didn't explosive cask him, which I thought they were gonna do is cask him to get him away, but wow. Well, never say never. I think that is actually the lowest damage ability that's ever stolen a major objective. Because 5 damage is what stole it.
Yeah, that's...
All right, well, Cloud9 are winning this game by a lot, and let's see what they can do with it. As Contracts goes into the jungle, we wait and recover from everything else. 22 minion lead for Sneaky, 11 for Jensen. Ray is behind on Darshan. That is one thing that CLG have, but Gragas being ahead is not exactly a game-winning champion. But again, I still want to point out that, like, no tanks late game can be a scary teamfight sort of proposition.
Yeah, it can be, I guess.
You're not buying it. I've been wrong before this series, so I trust you on this one.
Cloud9, oh my goodness. Huge lead now, especially even just in the mental game. This is a game 3.
Yeah.
There's so much on the line. And, you know, not to discount the 5 damage steal there on the Infernal Drake, but also pretty good gold lead on very offensive team comp.
Missed the stun. Darshan walks away safe.
Looks like Jensen actually is going either for Proto Belt or
GLP.
The possible Gunblade.
The Ruby Crystal makes me think he's going Proto Belt much more likely. Because
I
not
just-
a lot of Ruby Crystal
I just
buy are.
really missed the Gunblade builds. I was so hyped on them.
Oh, okay.
And
Pretty much left block, definitely.
everyone was transitioning into double split pushers, so I can see the Kennen and Ari both split pushing, but
Watch some Splice games. They played Akali.
yeah.
Didn't win, but spoilers.
Played a ninja counts.
Oh! He gets away from the charm, but the chase is still on. Great stun out of Huhi and gonna get away with that one. And here comes Dardoch in for the backside of this. Of course, Flash is up still for Jensen, down for Huhi. A good trade for Cloud9. And Sneaky getting some free time down on the top side to continue what was started by Ray so long ago. 11.5 minutes in, looking for some turret damage. Pokes out on Stixay, and not much more.
All right, Blast Cone over here could possibly Some extra force here. Oh, Aframu actually clears out all the vision, so they abort mission. I feel like everyone in the game is still stunned from the Drake going down.
I know we are.
I want to see Dardok's reaction to like even figure out what's stolen.
Yeah. Because they saw the Void Spikes leave and like, all right, now we can burst it.
Yeah. I mean, they saw him. They saw contracts.
Yeah.
All right, regardless though, two-man job here on the bottom turrets. And it looks like CLG actually will have defenses in place for all other lanes, so some pretty free damage on the turrets.
Yeah, and Ray, you can see he's unwilling to go for this. He's still too squishy. Explosive cast or body time flash would make him die, so we gotta get the turret away.
And you can tell what the plan there is for Cloud9 is they're sending not only the bottom lane, but also more jungle pressure back up to the top side. It's just that not really gonna take effect anytime soon, so CLG actually going for the recalls first might even be able to get back in place.
Interesting trade of priorities on the map. Dardok had followed Darshan bot lane to get the turret gold and then made sure he got solo gold. You saw him walk away out of range, and Contract saying, well, they gave away control topside. We'll take a red off of this and continue to go for top lane turret damage. It won't die. Looks like it will actually, with Contract showing it should be enough damage now. And
so there is a possible counterplay here, and they are going for it.
That's a
teleport
flash
too.
Out of Sneaky. Here comes the Gragas. Ray has not joined the fight. It's a late TP. He's coming in now. He's joined the fight as well. Looking for Contracts. Nice body. Some explosive cast brings him in. He's guaranteed to die now. They're going to take down Contracts. Why did he even bother flashing? He's got no way out. The kill comes through. Ray did complete the teleport, I do believe, and gets nothing for it.
Interesting. Going for possible Rift Herald push afterwards.
I think they should. They will. And that's going to be really big.
Oh, they're contesting, though.
Stun is in. Jensen gets some damage. Here comes Ray. He gets stunned at the Scuttle Crab. The jungle is working against Cloud9, but Ray stays alive here on this one, looking for a bit more. Body slam blocked off by the Scuttle, and Sneaky takes the last hit on the Scuttle Crab. Is now running away from the Bard, and from a big stun out of Who, he's looking for more damage. They're going to take one down thanks to Ray, and another one comes back, though, as Sneaky loses his life. Who he wants a bit more to chase, but won't find any champions. That fight actually did go positive to Cloud9. They got Darshan for Sneaky, and Dardok had died earlier.
Yeah, and they stopped the Rift Herald there, so they do have to give up their blue buff, but Rift Herald is a big pushing tool that they could try and use to get back into the game. Now, Cloud9 just have to clear out some vision here around Ocean Drake. Take another look at the beginning here, because mention all these long-range abilities. The flash gets blown super early from 6A. I think Darshan does a good job of waiting around Contracts and instantly getting the interrupt there with the body slam, comboing it with the ultimate. As you said, Contracts wasn't getting out of that one, so also the flash going down is another bonus, but look how close they get to the stars hitting. The star just barely doesn't hit.
That's hilarious.
Jensen goes in, he lands a charm on the back for the extra kill there as well.
Yep. And then Ray just barely lives. And yeah, he had walked by their would-be opponents, and this turns into almost nothing. They only get the one kill finally. And even as part of it, they killed off Darshan. It's funny, we talk about walking by those brushes and clearing them from pink wards. Have you ever cleared them for an Ahri and a Lulu that were just like, shh, let them go? It's like hiding under the tank, all those Battlefield 1 clips. Let it go over me, it's okay.
Yeah, definitely a scary proposition with the amount of burst damage. And good patience from Cloud9 to let Huhi pass.
Yeah.
They could have tried to go for the solo kill, the 2v1 kill there onto Huhi, but the patience allows them to stop the Rift Herald, get the 2-for-1. I'm pretty happy about holding on to this advantage.
1,800 is the gold lead right now for Cloud9. They're up an Infernal Drake, down an Ocean. Still a better situation for Cloud9, of course. They are definitively winning in this one. Magical Trinity didn't catch the recall. Sneaky just barely got out with that one.
That ward is not going anywhere, though.
All right, that one's going to be dropped down. Afro gets one more to the CS tracker, and mid-turn actually being wave cleared well by Jensen, and he's playing his safety properly. Pretty much all these spells are up for CLG, and he's like, that's fine. I'm going to wave clear 1v3, and he gets to.
All right, I'm still waiting for the transition of Cloud9 into the split push. Kennen has the Blade of the Rune King completed now. Ray's teleport is pretty much dead on synced with Darshan's after that last little skirmish.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be an issue, but it's constant plays around these wards in mid lane. They continue to look for. they've already actually seen Contracts get into position because there's a ward at Raptors, the pink ward in the Pixel Bush that is about to go down.
See how it goes. Contracts takes that one down. Still some time to go into the Drake, but they'll get Rift Herald in the meantime. Or sorry, Rift Scuttle. I misspeak there. Still fighting for ward control, and 3 minutes till Baron spawns, which still means 2.5 minutes to fight for the Rift Herald if they still want to try for it. And honestly, Counterlogic Gaming have complete control over mid and top lane right now. And the fact that Dardoch can solo this, I feel like they just should grab it because they can.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 are definitely showing that they're respecting or they're scared of the Bard ultimate into the Aurelion Soul Roam. The long-range potential is definitely there. But, you know, C9 do have their own tools of Ash Arrow as well. And looks like the Rift Herald's going to go over to CLG. All right. Timer on this one, so they don't have too long to hold on before they go for a big push.
There we go. First Rift Herald of the North American LCS. And summer split.
Insta-summoned here by Dardoch.
That turret is dead. 100% that turret dies. Quote me. All right, here we go.
One for the books, freak.
Yay! I got one right. All right, turret falls down, and C9's like, yeah, okay, good enough for you, and they're going to take that one out. It's dead. It gets one minion. It didn't even get a minion. It got just the turret. But hey, CLG getting the gold back close, 1,000 apart now. Rift Herald did its mission.
Died for the cause.
Did.
Man, it seems like Game 3, the trepidation we're seeing from both teams is starting to set in, as both of them have so many options for going for picks, and all the outer turrets, except for CLG's mid one, are now down. So,
and hey, Afro has tried. He's forced a flash from Sneaky. He missed it by a quarter second against the recall. Those have been, I believe, the only two ults so far I've seen from that Bard. Now going to look for maybe a play and doesn't want to face into two. Contract's nice sweep. He's going to get rid of that ward that Afro just put down. He knows that the Bard was right on that side of the map, of course. Ray still split pushing. He has yet to really get himself a minion lead over Darshan. Darshan was up 30 a little while ago, maybe 8-10 minutes ago into this game when they had done the lane swaps from before. Ray has not been hugely impactful otherwise so far in this game on a normally lane dominant champion, and that hasn't turned into much just yet. CLG has brought the game back within 1K, and to be honest, off of how good the early game looked for Cloud9, right, the early Infernal Drake steal, the first Flood, the first turret, this game is much closer than maybe the early game would have suggested.
All right, a little bit of a camping here for CLG inside the red quadrant jungle of Cloud9. If they leave vision down as well, you know, any sort of deep vision, when you're talking about this much pick potential, really can mean the difference between one of those 4-man pickoffs and an Ash Arrow to the face.
Let's see, those arrows can land right now. Haven't seen Sneaky shoot many of them. Haven't seen many hit either. It's still a tight game, and it's always interesting trying to shot call in games like this where it's just been passive for a while. It's like, well, what's the first move we make? I guess we start maybe warding around Baron. You have to like just invent where the play comes in because you're just kind of passively wave playing against one another. And you have to start creating. Oh, that's a forced flash. Nicely done. He arrows it right as he went for the wave clear. They find the ult. Sneaky, can he find the stun though? The Q's gonna go through the minion. Yes, they get the stun. The trap's there as well. The Sneaky still half HP. Gets away, flashes, but he might still go down. Explosive cast comes in much too late from Darshan to get them that kill. Sneaky gets away.
Even with Darshan flanking, Dardoch never takes that Q in onto Stixxay. Darshan is there, full tank, Gragas, ready to start this team fight off, and he does not take the Q in. Maybe some really risk-averse, as we said, Game 3 kind of cold feet. A little bit.
Dardoch was probably the death leader of this series so far. Even in the win, he's been picked up a lot on the Gragas, and I feel like he said, okay, I'm playing a bit too far forward. Maybe I should be a bit more tempered, and that was not the time to learn that lesson.
I feel like the communication should have been there. It's a Lee Sin with flash. He goes in, that is a dead Ashe.
Yeah.
And Gragas is there in the middle to tank as well, but they do still get Ocean Drake number 2.
And CLG. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, so yeah, CLG, apologies for that one, have definitely been good at playing around the Ocean Drakes and taking one fight and just closing the game out with the regen. Here comes the dive out of the mid lane, forces the flash out of Huhi though. No snipe out of Contracts.
Sometimes after a play like that where you don't take a Q in, then the next play you rush it a little bit. So it's always interesting to watch. You know, when he's able to actually jump in. Again, the 5-man squad grouping up, and again,
Darshan slam flash, explosive cask in. They found Sneak with a kill, already comes through. They picked off Dardoch, and the trade does come in. Sneak got the auto attack 1-for-1, and the trade better for CLG.
Actually, another really good flank from Darshan. He gets right back onto the summonerless Ashe, gets him under turret. Meanwhile, Cloud9 get their counter kill on Dardoch. Flash still available.
Aurelion Sol's on the way bot lane, and so it's going to be Ray running away from that one. Darshan also coming.
Yeah, Darshan already used Flash, so Ray should feel just fine. No ultimate as well.
Not much here. So the game remains 1,000 apart. 2-0 on the heavily slowing Huhi Aurelion Sol. Riley's just now completed. Definitely going to be a threat in the team fights.
And for all intents and purposes, all that action in mid lane was basically, nothing. Oh, here we go, though. Solo onto Stixxay is going to stop for the ward.
Bart misses those Q. Doesn't really matter, though, and Contracts walks away with it.
Yeah, that pretty much all came to nothing there. There was no extra vision placed. Nobody setting up, for the future here. 1 kill traded across for 1 kill. And we return to who is going to land the pick first. Ashe Arrow cooldown's coming right back up. Bard ultimate is already available.
Yeah, and it really is. It's off of when the team decides we're going to manufacture a play. Right? And you saw Contact maybe tried. He put a deep ward down. There's a Bard near me. We can't go for the solo kill. I'll back up for now. But at any given time, you can see that Tempered Fate. You can see that Ashe, the Enchanter Crystal come out. The opportunities are always there. And the players are playing defensively enough to not be caught by them just yet.
Yeah, speaking of defenses, I also like this, pick up here, Quicksilver Sash from Stixxay. He burned his flash to dodge the last one, so he's not going to be able to do that for another 5 minutes. And in the meantime, he's going to need a solution to that problem.
Arrow's going to land on Huhi. Gets Charm to get away. Gets the Cleanse get away. The Charm's not going to land either. Gets a nice little slow into Contract. Low HP on the Rex side. Wild Growth compensates for that one pretty cleanly. And Darshan's TP means not much, but now they've got Ray. Now on the wrong side of that fight was a lone 1v5. Gets caught out. Tempered Fate does not quite land on a sneaky. They haste the Whimsy, keeps him alive. Smoothie has to flash away from explosive cast, so more summoners lost. Does he go for the play? Yes, he does. The flash to run away, and the ward have to get out. Safeguard to his teammate, Dardoch now, and Darshan both very low. Contract wants to slow, going to be takes down. Stixxay goes for the fight, can't quite kill it just yet, but Jensen is one spin away from killing him off. Doesn't quite both halves of the Q, but he was nearly going to have that one there. And out they go, just the 1-for-0, the kill on Ray.
The mid lane 10-man mob squads here, just over and over for this, and Ray was the odd man out this time around.
Yeah.
He went all in when the rest of Cloud9 were trying to disengage after Contracts got chunked so heavily. But Ray commits here onto the backside. A lot of ultimates were used to try and take down Contracts, but then Afro move, Ray's target, big ultimate, but not a huge amount of damage behind it. And since Darshan's on the front line, the rest of Cloud9 are not able to turn around. Good flash there from Smoothie at the end, so that he doesn't get picked, but...
Ooh, magical journey over the wall means CLG going to try for a Baron rush here. Now by standing on the backside, they can be stunned, but there's no vision. Jensen's right next to him, and they don't know it. CLG gonna get this one with no contest at all. What a great sneak out of CLG. Suddenly, oh no, Contract can see them. They've got Nightmare. He's gonna go for this body slam. Darshan tries to by the time. The kickback as well, and this time CLG secures it. It took them 3 opens, but they got him away with it. Contract's no steal. CLG with the Baron sneak.
Oh my God, he just got punched out 3 times. Contracts trying to not able to get inside, and these games have been mid-fight after mid-fight after mid-fight, then slip in a sneak Baron.
That was nice.
Now we'll get some pushing here from CLG. They need to reset after that recall, go back for the purchases, and look to use this Baron buff to actually tip the scales as far as the gold is concerned, because these games have been so incredibly close.
And they really have been. CLG still down in gold, but you expect a team like this to really make the most of it. They've got the permanent regen like it's the old Baron buff, and they've got all the minion wave buffs as well. Jensen just going to play for wave clear now. And to play so far up as well, they've got some board control to make it safe.
All right, number 1, air ball on the ultimate. Okay, so it's only 2. He belly slaps him out first, though. Then the great kick there from Dardoch. Finish it! Double rejected. Good calling there, Freak. Finish the objective, and they do get out afterwards. All right, so it is going to be mid and bottom lane, the 2 lanes pushing here for the Baron. Unfortunately for CLG, it is a 3rd Ocean Drake, which does not add too much beyond the first two for themselves, but they should take it anyways.
See what can happen on this one. Looks like it's C9 now trying to defend their jungle, but CLG, the more powerful team right now. And the wards are going to die. Into the bot lane they go. It's already been set up thanks to Darshan. Split pushing on the Gragas.
Ray is pushing down the mid lane once again here, trying to get the wave pushed up, but he's going to need to come back to try and defend an inhibitor turret. Inhibitor turret goes down, and that is a wide open doorway.
Oh, they caught contact with it. Sneaky got alive because he has flash. The knockback is there. That is a clean one, a free one. That's the pick up there. Charm and a stun and a kill on a Dardak. He's gone. Darshan a bit low as well, down to 1k HP, but it does prevent the turret
Ray is
falling.
circling around for a flank. He does not have flash, and he's seen on a ward, though.
Health bar's a bit low. Half HP, double ocean kicks in. CLG now regenning and 6A life stealing up with the Doran's Blade.
They have to make their decision. They're going to continue pushing here. Ray does have the outside track. Ultimate available for Pookie and Stixay, but that's it for CLG. Still going to get the
4v4, one hit. Stixay takes it down. The turret has fallen. CLG have cracked into the base, but it's going to be it for them. Contracts respawning in 7 seconds means CLG going to recall.
Not going to recall yet. Want to grab the dragon first. Free objective. Oh!
They're still going to recall. I didn't say when. 2. I'm still right. Technically.
10 points to
Gryffindor. No, Hufflepuff. Wait, whichever. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
You're definitely a Hufflepuff.
I am definitely a Hufflepuff. That is true. There we go. The Ocean Drake falls. CLG triple Ocean.
Oh, they tagged Ray, and he's got the Rylai slow on top of it.
Oh, charm and nothing. All right.
All right, they are going to buy some time for Ray to get out, but whew, again, counter punches here from CLG. They use the Baron to get 1 turret and a 3rd Ocean Drake. Actually, 2 turrets, because the inhibitor turret did end up going down as well. Take another look at the start, because there's the obvious kill here onto Contracts, but then look at the counter from Jensen.
Great charm.
Immediately in the ult charm, point blank onto Dardak to be able to get that counter kill. And that, he just pulled that one out of thin air. Yeah. That was very big in stopping the Baron push.
Yeah, honestly, when Cloud9 are doing well, it is off of Jensen. We were talking earlier about this. You were giving him a lot of credit for the finals run. Everyone remembers the Game 5 Echo death, but honestly, you're right. Jensen had been so good with C9, and plays like this, he has been doing very well so far this series. His Syndra almost won them Game 2, but right now it is CLG playing better as a team. And actually, another negative Baron power play, 1,400 gold, and the Baron gives you 1,500.
Checks out.
Yep.
All right,
are they going to turret?
Are they going to fight over the control ward? There's still a lot of straggling members of Cloud9, so defense definitely #1 priority here. Stixay is fully operational on the Caitlyn now, though, with crit multipliers ready. Mercurial, not Mercurial yet, just quick to the stash, ready to take out either the Ashtar or the Charm effect.
And out they go. And that's the journey back down to the bot side. Ray has been pushing this, so now he's got...
They could try and get his
numbered
teleport
days.
out,
Will he TP? Will he recall? He's going to TP. He will get out from this one.
And what?
Ooh, and he guessed wrong, actually. 50-50 of actually stopping him in his tracks there.
What an easy summoner spell advantage. What in the
world?
world?
The solo kill. He's dead. He's just gone. Suddenly, they went back to the mid lane, and Sneaky just forgot that there were opponents on the map right there. Takes him out real quick. Great stun and ult from Huhi. Connor's forced to run now. Going to jump the wall, and still the snipe is coming. Maybe they can get the rest of the damage here. Contract does have the leap, though. Out he goes.
All right, let's see what they can do with the man advantage here. CLG taking over blue quadrants. There's no real objective for them to take, and the lanes are not pushed. So even though Sneaky out in the middle of nowhere gets killed, CLG don't really get to capitalize a lot. They're pushing up mid lane. 15 seconds on Sneaky is what Cloud9 need to buy to be able to defend their turrets, and it looks like they'll be able to do it. Let's take a look at how it happened, though. Control war in that river, and pretty easy there. Huhi
Yep.
straight to the face.
Lands the ult, which kind of guarantees the Q afterwards. Huhi played it right. Has plenty of slows, of course. The GLP. Pretty intense slow for half a second, and that made the skill shots land.
Regardless, though, it's just kill money going over. Again, Cloud9 have opted to keep Ray split pushing. He has no teleport, remember.
And he's going to go for a bot lane tier 2 turret, which will be at least a trade, because CLG definitely going to take top lane tier 2. And they're not looking to push even more. You can see the Ahri wave clear is pretty good, and honestly, for playing without teleport, Cloud9 trading objectives equally is the best you could hope for. So well played C9 to wave clear properly and get a trade in turrets.
I think as well, they don't want a 5-on-5 team fight, especially in that small corridor. So is a good option just to go for the trade instead. Utilize that cannon with the red buff. Because again, Darshan, the full tank, Gragas here on the front lines, very disruptive to the team fights if they have to do the 5-on-5.
There's starting to be a gold difference, though. You're going to see a 70 minion difference across the two top laners here because Raze is pushing so much. Darshan's helped him team fight for sure, and he's been useful. I want to give him full credit for that. He's got that 4 out of 6 kill participation. But there's a full level lead on Ray, and again, that 70 minion farm that even though he's on the losing team, he's up 500 gold against his lane opponent. And that's with 3 less assists and with less turret gold overall as a player. So.
All right, what'd you expect? Back to mid, Freak. Who's going to land the CC first?
All draft, all mid. Jensen going to find the charm onto the tank, though. Darshan's healthy enough. Looks the big play. Not going to find a ton on contract. He stealths away from it. Gargoyle Stone Plate down for Darshan. Jensen staying alive pretty easily through the snipe. CLG going to clear out mid lane first.
Everyone holds on to summoner spells, but it's C9 that has
they don't want to let C9 rush Baron. So they've got a split between mid and Baron to make sure that C9 can't steal it, but at the same time, they want to get turret pressure down in the mid lane, and CLG going to play for wards and then head back down to this side of the map. Cloud9 have bought some time to kick and actually puts them into the magic. And let's see if they can get a little more. Ray's going to kite away safely enough for now. Darshan on the back, but hoping to zone out Jensen. A quick slow comes through. They're going to find Smoothie. 1 kill picked up already. Caitlyn gets that kill for that. And a second one comes on. His contract is dead. The chase is in. A double kill now for Huhi in the mid lane. And Darshan is too durable to die. Flashes away, gets a quick locket shield. But now there's no way out for this one. Jensen just going to run. Going to get slowed a little bit. And there's a beautiful knockback cast from Darshan. 4 for 0 to Counter Logic Gaming.
That's going to be Baron, and that...
Why?
There's going to be a party explosion there. That is the party blast cone. Baron celebration, Freak.
True.
This is actually going to be the biggest opening in the game that we've seen up until this point, I believe. CLG, after this one and the reset, all the kill gold that they're going to be able to use, the Baron gold that they're going to be able to use, very big purchases coming through. And Stixxay is an absolute monster here now on the Caitlyn. Look at the big zone that they can complete here. We talked about Cloud9 comp, no tank. They're pretty even on gold. So CLG just split them up. Bard ultimate in the middle, and then he's able to land the slows for all the follow-up damage here. And very, very big pickoff for themselves. As we said, Darshan full tank, able to just keep Jensen in tow.
And now looking for more people to kill. Of course, the inhibitors have not been broken. The bot inhibitor, of course, is still turretless from the earlier siege of CLG. And they're going to grab all the non-combat Drakes. CLG happy to play a more pacifist game here. Actually going to leave the Cloud Drake alive. That's even how pacifist they are here in this one. Look for the mid lane. Stun's going to land. Stixxay's gone! Oh. That is a huge arrow, and Sneaky, who had died so much this game, finally creates an opening pick. Stixxay is down, and now Cloud9 going to go for broke. They've been losing all game, and maybe they can get something out of this one. 2 minions alive. Contracts to dive. Look at the kickback, though. The assassination is almost there. Ray is going to get picked off. Dardak makes it happen, and Tempered Fate finds Sneaky to temper Cloud9's expectations. They're going to find this slow. They're going to find this stun, and down he goes. A double kill for Darshan himself. It's 3 dead and a 4v5, and Cloud9 thought they had the opening, and CLG don't even need Stixxay at all. They're going to kill him off anyway.
It's one opening here provided, and then a big punish by the opposite team. Couple mistakes coming through from both sides, and CLG come out ahead in the 1-for-3, technically, with Baron buff already having been acquired, allows them to push off of it. Not the most orthodox mid lane push there from CLG, but they are able to convert.
And they're going to go for a little bit of mid-turret damage, but with the last of the range minions gone, the backdoor bonus will remain. And here we go. Giant Star. Huhi looking to bring him in, and he's going to find a bit of damage, and Jensen, the kill comes through for Dardak. Nicely played. He is gone. And the respawns come in, but will it be enough as the middle inhibitor turret will fall? The inhib itself may remain standing. Does CLG choose to keep fighting? The Caitlyn is not far behind. Stixxay will be there in 5 seconds, and that means, okay, 4v4, but soon to be a 5v4. Contract still on the wings, hoping for poke.
Yeah, I think that's
no better than the fight, but CLG closing out the game. Triple Ocean Drake means they're going to get full health pretty quickly here, looking to keep pushing. Bottom turret into the first target there. Stixxay plenty of damage.
Sneaky has Ash Arrow, but if Darshan just stands in front of Stixxay, you know, an Ash Arrow on the Gragas is a safe option. Nothing for them.
Exactly, QSS is there. So double inhibitor will be the take and the back out now. Couple Baron buffs still do stand. 40 seconds left on those, but pretty safe retreat for CLG. And this time, they will take their Cloud Drake.
Counter Logic Gaming, two close games here back-to-back in the series, but they're looking to upset Cloud9. Finish spring split as number 2. CLG with a huge gold lead, giant Drake lead. All right, let's take a look at this though. This is the classic AD carry support flank that gets very heavily punished by C9, but then the dive right into the Lee Sin kick, turn around here from Huhi, and Dardoch goes in this time to finish him off before Redemption falls. That was quite a nice execution. 6A on the front line, same thing happens to him. And it's pretty easy for CLD to chase here with the Baron buff. They're able to get multiple turrets, 2 inhibitors down now to go on top of this giant gold lead.
And Ray has honestly been useless this game. For a player who's getting to start all 3 games, he's 1 and 2 on this cannon. He hasn't really created that much split push pressure. He's now got, I guess, 60% crit chance. That's cute or something, but has really had no impact at all, fittingly enough. And now CLG looking to close this one out with a 6,000 gold lead down the top lane.
Yeah, I like that one. It was super subtle and nice until you called yourself out.
Well, it wasn't on purpose, and I was like, that was cute. I gotta mention that.
Should have known better to credit you with that one.
No
CLG though, looking for some credit of their own.
Yeah, they are.
Want to take home this first series.
Ooh, good charm. That's damage. That's going to be an assassination. Almost get it with the Asher, but it's not going to stun the right target. Into the back line, a lot of damage on a contract. Jensen a half as well. Ray only knocked to the side. No good explosive cast here. The stun, though. Looking for Huhi. Can they get the kill? Not just quite, but the damage is almost there. Darshan flashing away, and Dardoch kicks one back. The chase for contract. The stealth. He gets the kill, but it's a trade. Huhi takes him down with the stars.
C9 are turning it around, but they can't chase because of the minions in their base on the Nexus turrets.
And there we go. Looking back into this one. Looking to find the kills. They know where the recall is from Ray. And actually, yes, minions are killing Nexus turrets right now inside the base. Counter Logic Gaming.
They lost one.
Looking for more down the mid lane. Again, the Ocean Drake region actually means a lot in situations like this. The turrets are falling. They are going to get wave cleared in time, though, and CLG may have to bide a bit more time. It's 4v4, and the minions are gone, so there's not a lot of inherent strength in this siege.
Back to full health here for CLG. For the most part, no Ash Arrow available.
Oh, explosive cask is, though, and it's going to be smoothly almost dropped down, but look at the charm, look at the play. It is Jensen picking up a kill on Afmu in the bot side. Another follow-through is there, and the shutdown comes in for Sneaky, and CLG did, in fact, overstay in the 4v4.
Oh, C9 fighting here. 2 inhibitors down, backs against the wall, still able to come out with the picks on CLG and prolong this one, buy themselves some more time to work with. All right, around the corner, going for the bush play. Jensen, a critical charm once again.
She stuns Ubi.
Yeah, Sneaky was able to get his arrow off there. He's actually aiming for Dardoch to finish up the kill, but they'll take that opportunity to dish out the damage onto Huhi, get him low, extra confidence there to go in, and Contracts, even on the outside here, does finish off the kill right before going down. Whew.
Even though C9 won the fight, I still don't like how Ray's playing. He got only Darshan with the entire ultimate. They're winning the fight. He's ready for the chase down. He even flashes, and he only catches a Gragas. And this cannon has not convinced me.
At that point, you're just trying to get somebody locked down to be able to grab one kill. I can see where you're going for here. You know, they need a big explosion to get back in this game.
Yeah.
Need to get multiple members. But if you're Cloud9, you take what opportunity you can get.
That's fair.
And they do buy themselves more time to look for a new opportunity.
See if they can have that one happen. Ray, of course, still hard farming. He's going for some tank busting. His crit chance now going to add some armor pen as well. Is certainly going to have good auto attacks. He's basically got the reckless special there.
Yeah. To your point, though, like, you know, the Kennen, I've seen Kennen banned way more often than actually played and actually gone through Champion Select. And definitely has been a bit underwhelming here.
See what comes through. Quick snipe damage on a Jensen. Does not get blocked off by Smoothie. Tried to get in range with Whimsy. Couldn't quite get the shield off, though, in time. And we're running out of item slots to buy. You can see full build is done for Sneaky. A full item still to go on Stixay right now, interestingly enough. No armor pen yet in his build.
Oh my goodness. Darshan even gets a Warmogs and a Spirit Visage on top of these 3 Ocean Drakes. If he gets out of combat, he regenerates the full almost like instantly.
It's like 2 seconds. Yeah.
Here goes the Baron pressure though. High pressure situation.
And they're not going to find anything just yet. Stun finds the tank charm as well, so the key PC's down for a few more seconds.
Jensen, really clutch movements there. Able to keep himself from getting caught.
And Ray used TP to get into this fight, looking for a play. Here gets the slow, cutting back to the bot side. They're not going to find the Q to land on him, but it's just playing for minion positioning right now. Mid lane is pushing in Cloud9's favor. More damage than a Darshan, down to half HP. 1800 on him, but watch the regen when it kicks in. He'll be back to full soon.
Exactly. He just needs to get out of combat. He'll get Warmox Regeneration, empowered by Spirit Visage, plus the triple Mind Break, and boop, 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 back to full.
I think the Fountain wouldn't heal him as fast as that. Darshan back to full HP, and that's after taking Asher earlier, so one important cooldown done and gone from Sneaky. Wave cleared, another snipe on a Jensen. And back they go. Resetting from square one, but this time no Ash Arrow available.
Oh my goodness. All right, back to mid lane. Again, the same bush, looking for the same picks.
This
and
time on different sides.
are actually pushing towards the inhibitor. They don't care about the Baron. You can't take it fast enough that they
can
won't
win
be
the
able to
game.
get the inhibitor first.
That double open inhibs. These can both die. There is no backdoor bonus for inhibitors. These can fall rapidly. Ash Arrow comes up at about 5 seconds. So
They're ready
to know
for
that.
it. Darshan has to stand in front.
He'll be taking 240 damage, though, from the volley poke. And CLG, actually, the gold lead kind of stops mattering at this point, pretty obviously, and they will not go for more.
Whew. All right. There's still a control ward on the Baron for Cloud9, so they're not even scared about the Baron bait at the moment. Possibly the Elder Dragon, but that's about it. Mostly, it's which bush are CLG waiting in this time?
And that one is the one
Still
Baron.
bush number 1.
Yes. But it means that it's going to be a trade. Cloud9 resign themselves to the fate and say, okay, we will trade a 2-stack Elder Dragon for that Baron Nashor pickup. Baron probably is stronger, but it's the best that Cloud9 could have gotten, I think, with this choice. It's kind of the eventuality of this play. Now, CLG, looks like they are not going to go for the reset. They will rush to push right now.
All right.
Nope, just kidding, they're going to reset. They took a blue buff. Okay.
Yeah, take a quick break. Go fill up your Koveve. And we'll still be here, playing around mid lane, looking at the same bush.
I was going to say Kofifi was my take.
I like the, discussion that we've had around the pronunciation of that as well. You're like, what could it possibly
Coverage.
mean with it? Koveve, Kofifi. Regardless,
Kofif.
This is going to be determined by a 5-on-5 team fight. Elder Dragon versus Baron buff team. And, which carry is going to be able to escape the pick?
And there's a 1-minute timer difference as well. You can look at the Baron buff timer, subtract 1 minute, that's Elder Dragon timer. So if CLG really wants to min-max the buffs, they wait till Baron's got 1 minute left and then say, okay, now we'll go. Since C9 actually have 1.5 Infernal Drakes with this, they might actually be the better team fight team with the current global buffs on. It's arguable, I suppose, and CLG may actually choose to wait this out and go for broke and go for that one last fight win in a minute's time.
I feel like there's so much riding on Afromu's Bard ultimate. Talk about team fighting. Yes, Elder Dragon buff is so good, but if you can actually even just burn key flashes on the backline before this team fight starts and gain flash advantage for your team before the 5-on-5, that can be so big because Hui provides permanent zoning, permanent AoE, large areas of slow, as long as the carries don't have their flashes, don't have their mobility. So, a good Bard ultimate can mean everything. They're going to start it off with a Giant Star.
Oh, he cut it off early.
I mean, it's really hard to keep up with it after that point. Oh, they get a little bit of a pick here on that.
Sean jumps the wall. Contract actually smartly hugs the wall to not be pushed over so that he doesn't have to use an escape to get away in case CLG is waiting. I think it was actually intentional by Contracts to not be satcheled. That CLG can keep pushing down. Of course, Gragas infinite regen. Back to full HP, not even a problem. Lots of help on him, 4K and more.
Contracts less than infinite regen, though, on the Kha'Zix.
Yep. As the Guardian Angel. An item that 6 got to buy because there are no tanks in the C9 roster. He doesn't have to build tank busting. He gets to buy a QSS and a Guardian Angel and still have arguably equal to more damage than Sneaky.
Good point. And the name of the game is how are they going to be able to kill Stixxay, the big damage output, if Darshan's in front of him, if Huhi's running zoning.
And a Knight's Vow from the Lee Sin as well to help give him even more tank stats. So Stixxay has some bonus damage reduction and he even healed Dardoch. See how it goes. Down to the bot lane. Mid inhibitor's already gone. It's been CLG in the driver's seat for most of this end game. The early game went to C9, but the comeback has happened so far, and CLG looking for a bit more. No charm gonna land just yet. Here comes the second inhibitor attempt. Build's done for many of the champions. Many of the players here have nothing else to buy.
Darshan still always standing right in front of Stixxay, the bodyguard, providing him cover to fire over, and that's 2 inhibitors down. CLG looking for the Nexus turret.
And the minions are coming into range, but nice little dancing. You can see Ray kind of wants to make the minions not walk any farther forward, let the team wave through, and they have stopped that. So it's time for the next minion wave to spawn. And the next minion wave to spawn. Baron buff has time.
It's time for the Ash Arrow to land, freak.
Well, yeah, but he has to shoot it first.
Right.
Good comeback. All right. In the mid lane they go.
Fair enough. I've heard that many times this series.
That's true. And of course they don't. They push mini wave and recall. I should stop with my predictions.
Honestly, though, a bit more time. Cloud9 just trying to wait again. Double inhibitors to come back up. Elder Dragon could respawn, but it's definitely a long ways out. It's really just so much again. Are they actually going to be able to pull off that pick? I feel like they've been waiting in the same bush every single time.
Yeah.
And, not really found a pick off of it for the last 40 minutes.
Negative Baron power play. This series has definitely been teams unwilling or unable to close the game out during Baron. Some of that is the fact that Infernal Dragon, I keep saying it, Elder Dragon was picked up on the other side, which is worth almost as much gold as Baron itself, so that global gold trade was nearly identical.
We have a wrinkle in time.
Oh?
Just kidding.
I'm not gonna get that one.
Everything is right.
Okay. Ray out of things to buy. Contracts 1 slot left. Jensen almost done. Maybe Lichbane? I'm not sure what the last one
All right,
into.
it looks like they're going for a play. Huhi's actually using his E over the wall right now.
They want to see if they can pick off Ray. They're almost in range.
Has flash.
Only broke the Banshee fail. Oh, it's going to slow. Ray has no way out anymore. He's going to flash and look for the knockup, look for the CC, but he doesn't have the damage, I don't think. He's going to keep trying to run. Actually,
the
good
movie
damage onto Huhi, and Ray nearly takes him out in the 1v2. And actually, I'm not sure Darshan can win either. Ray creates so much pressure. He's going to stay for the heal, but now he's ignited by Aphromoo. He'll find some redemption as well, and the entire team is in, and Ray gets picked off for, I'm not sure he should have stayed for the redemption, but still nearly did win the fight. CLG now 5v4 for a minute.
And as Ray gets up, the Baron is going to spawn 10 seconds afterwards. He does have teleport, so he can immediately get there if CLG try and force something around the Baron.
We'll see if they can do that just now.
It's a fairly large crit here. Again, with the static shiv, as we said before in the last game with Stixxay.
Here comes the TP. They're just trying to make sure they can make this happen. Darshan has the home guard buff.
5 versus 4. Double lines of super minions working their way towards the base. 30 seconds left on Ray, and CLG looking to move inside the base.
This should be what they need. Huhi, the star boy, looking to bring it in. Not going to find anyone to stun, but does clear the minions away. One Nexus turret stands between Counter Logic Gaming and the first match win of the summer split here.
17 seconds on Ray.
15, they're going to go for it now. Nexus is going to take a little bit of damage. One minion shows up. Stun's going to find the front line. Darshan's healthy enough, and Contract's forced back out. Guardian Angel pops. Can they kill him in the back half? They try to Stixxay almost get him, but he has Guardian Angel. Anyway, the root is there. The kill comes through. Stixxay gets him with the trap. Sneaky Force to flash away from Tempered Fate. Slowed down, stunned up, and the kill could come through shortly. One more attack would do, but he just barely kites away. Darshan almost dead. Give him 5 seconds to be back to full HP. Who even needs a teleport? Just drop out from the aggro. And instead, it's going to be the play for Baron instead. Not to close the game, but to grab something else in the map. And CLG going to grab that without a problem.
All right, we're cresting the 50-minute mark here. C9 are actually moving outside the base. They should just take control of minions right now. There's no way they can contest that Baron.
30 seconds to the contract's respawn, and CLG would rather siege with a Baron buff than a 5v4. They will give contracts time to revive.
All right, let's take another look here. Minion wave cleared out very quickly, but Darshan with a very good ultimate here on the Gragas. He's the one who ensures they pop this Guardian Angel and they get the kill on the contract. Dardoch then goes very deep. He's still able to escape with his own Ward Hop though. And CLG don't lose anyone in that engage.
And In they go, CLG looking for one more attempt. Of course, mid inhib has respawned. The base is a bit harder to kill than last time.
And again, the kills are 100% just about the opening in the game that you get afterwards. Gold from the kills doesn't matter at all to anyone. This is just about the 5v5 now. What summoners are left? Stixxay critically has none for CLG, but neither do Sneaky or Jensen on Cloud9.
A little more poke comes through. Front line gonna walk in front here and look for a couple of auto attacks. The threat of a volley slow into follow-up damage and follow-up CC a bit too much. You can see Stixxay playing very far back here. Tricks the minions, looks now for the inhibitor, and this time around it looks a bit safe. Dardoch has been poked a fair bit. Stun's gonna land on a Dardoch, force a kite back. You said not that tanky, to be honest. Sterix Gage is not a huge tank item.
Yeah, definitely the tank that you want to hit. If you hit Darshan, he just walks to the back of the line, heals up to full, as we said before. But popping the Sterix and getting a chunk on a Dardoch is a little bit of decent work. The inhibitor, though, is dead.
All right. It's been picked up, and now looks like they're going to go to the bot side. CLG once again going to keep running the table. Inhib is back up. This time Baron buff on for 2 minutes. Could give them enough time to push more. The triple Ocean Drake means that this poke doesn't mean much even against the people who don't have Warmogs. The rest of the squad, as long as they disengage for 5 seconds, they'll get the health back pretty quickly. Dardoch once again in the front. No Ash Arrow available means not really any threat. You can see how much faster that siege went for CLG.
All right. Again, 2 inhibitors down. 40 seconds on the Elder Dragon. It looks like CLG want to bait again. There they go!
And they're gonna catch Sneaky. The stun's not gonna land, but the follow-up CC could be there to slow the explosive cast. The bot laner is down 1 for 0, and now Counter Logic Gaming looking to close it out, looking to find someone else to kill. No marks on the bot lane, no damage really left over now for Cloud9. And here we go, Nexus turret number 1. It's backdoor bonus, but does Dardoch really care? Looks like enough that yes. Buys them 20 seconds. Sneaky up in 55 though, and the mini wave coming in from the bot side soon. Mini wave in the mid lane here as well.
Yeah, Cloud9 have to come up with something very creative here to be able to survive. Super minion buffed up by the Baron, and CLG are going for the Nexus turret.
They're going for it. Stixxay chunked to half HP. Jensen tries to find the play, not gonna get it yet. Slowed down by Bard and picked off. Stixxay gets the kill, and that's gonna be all she wrote. There shouldn't be a way back. The double kill as Contracts falls. Ray jukes the skill shots, but it doesn't matter. The turrets have fallen. The Nexus will follow suit, and Counter Logic Gaming take down Cloud9 in the first match of the split. Hugs to the newest member of CLG, Dardoch. Helps revitalize a squad who failed in the quarterfinals to FlyQuest. And this time around, they do their own reverse sweep, taking down Cloud9, one of the sweethearts of the split for sure. They were 1 game away from being the champions. Instead, they're defending runners-up, and CLG have taken them down. Dardoch so far undefeated in matches on Counter Logic Gaming.
CLG, word association with the team so far this split is 100% playmaking.
Yeah.
They've definitely, had the ups and downs as far as objective control or even map movements, which are things that we used to associate with this team. But the playmaking is definitely there. They were able to team fight critically. And as you said, this is a very big upset. This is Cloud9 previously finishing number 2 in the split. CLG got knocked out very early in playoffs, instantly. And starting off their split here on the right foot.
In spring split standings, as far as playoffs are concerned, this is 2 versus 5. And CLG is the 5. They got Dardoch in the roster. People said this is an upgrade. Maybe it's 2 versus 3 now. Most people saying CLG is the top 3 team. And getting this win means, okay, yes, they are a top 3 team. And maybe it's better than top 3, it's top 2. And that's, it's early stuff, but like, right? This is a team that probably should have been a really hard match for CLG, and it was, but to win it bodes so well for the roster move. Dardoch himself has said he's much happier on the team. The environment works very well. Certainly does look like thumbs up for CLG.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have more work to do, but this is the kind of opening that, people want to see with the team. Basically making the biggest trade of the offseason individually with trading out, Smithy for Dardoch and breaking up that roster that had been together for so long, the longest of the LCS.
Yep.
It's important to have, good things to show right when you start out. Does a lot for morale and does a lot for, team building and looking towards the future. Absolutely. I think they're very happy with opening up with a win versus C9.
Sure, and opening up with a win. They closed out the game with 1 team fight. We got to replay that one to show you real quick, as it was the CLG game-ending team fight there. And the big thing was the fact that that Afro ult just barely tagged Sneaky.
Oof, yeah, they're able to get it. And we said, the Bard ultimate was going to be critical for CLG ending out the game. They got it on the summonerless Ashe, and from that point, Baron buff and everyone just standing in front of Stixxay. It's Operation Keep Up Stixxay. If he's alive, we are out DPSing Cloud9.
Especially if Ashe is dead right there. But what's interesting is actually in the damage numbers, Sneaky almost doubled Stixxay's damage on a more under fire champion, to be completely fair, and Huhi actually did way more than Stixxay as well. So Huhi, I think, quietly a killer.
Huhi again, deathless game on Aurelion Sol. Hugely impactful. We keep talking about
highest KP,
the
highest
zoning
damage
for team fights that he creates, the damage he's putting out, the roaming pressure. Definitely deserves his accolades.
Yeah, all right, well played there by CLG Gaming. And now for more on that win, let's check in with Riv and CLG's newest member.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by CLG Dardoch after their victory over Cloud9 to start things off on the split. A pretty intense best of 3 to start things off. Kind of don't have to go through the whole game, but kind of walk me through the intensity. What was the communication to bring it back into CLG Gaming's favor?
I guess we were just kind of talking about how to, or we were just playing around manipulating the mini waves when we had inhibitors down, but we didn't take into account that 80 Kennen could just, I guess, be a stand-in Ashe at the end of the game. He's just kind of killing us all. But yeah, we played well as a team and we won.
And how was it coming over to CLG Gaming? Was it kind of plug and play for you? Did it take a bit, or was the communication right there with the team from the get-go?
Well, we have a lot of vocal members, and we're an all English-speaking team, so there's no, language barrier we have to get over at the beginning of the split like other teams I've been on. So right from the get-go, it was like a lot of communication, and we were just kind of nitpicking good and bad communication out of that huge communication pool that we have.
And coming into this season, previously you've kind of had this aura, this discussion of composure that would follow you around. How are you going to nip that in the butt? How are you going to keep Dardoch at a top level of play and continuing to win with CLG Gaming?
I guess the difference is that I'm being held more accountable on this team, where that stuff doesn't really fly with Zach or with Tony or anybody on the team. They're just like, I don't like you doing this, stop. And it's, all right, my bad, bro.
All right, well, nip in the butt like that, it's going to be over quick. So, you guys play Team Liquid tomorrow. Is it going to be another victory? How do you feel playing against that roster again?
Yeah, we're going to win. And I don't feel scared at all. It's whatever.
All right, there you have it. Dardoch and CLG Gaming pulling out the first win of the split over Cloud9. We're going to throw it to the analyst desk to break down the rest of that game.
Thank you very much, Riv. The first W does go to CLG Gaming in a 2-1 victory over Cloud9. But referencing this interview here that we just saw with Dardoch, he talked about that transition from Immortals to CLG and the communication barriers not being there, which he's had to deal with in the past.
Yeah, that's what I'm really looking for Dardoch, because we talked about this is the split for him to really define himself or redefine himself, because he's always been on teams that have a rookie that he has frustrations trying to teach somebody else the game. Now he's with a bunch of veterans. And he's always been on mixed language teams that have Korean speakers on it. Now he's on an all English speaking team. There's no excuses for him. His play has to speak for itself. Today wasn't really his best day, but it did look a little more team-focused and team-centric than we had seen from the past for him. So I'm really excited to watch him going forward on CLG.
And to that end, I mean, this game, especially here in Game 3, was incredibly back and forth, right? And so neither of these teams looked extraordinarily polished here on day 1, week 1 of the North American LCS. But as we dive into this third game and look at this CLG victory, I want to identify the strategic differences between the compositions and the win conditions that we can tie to each of them as we then see them play out throughout the game. So let's dive right into this. Help break it down for me. C9's comp, CLG's comp.
All right, we'll start with C9. C9's a lot of pick potential here. The big part of this is they have Charm, and they also have gap closers, as well as a Lulu to stop engages or pick people, and the Ashero to start things off. So you're looking at something that's like a 4-1 split push with the Kennen. But what happens for CLG Gaming is this is a tempo-based composition. They will use Bard portals and they will use Aurelion Sol to get across the map faster and out-rotate you. So they use tempo to their advantage, and they also have a tank against a tankless composition. So they want to have either fights that are in their favor in terms of numbers advantage by quickly rotating, or they want to just straight up 5v5 team fight this composition. And so I think the big thing here to watch out for is you want to split push as Kennen, But you can't do that against Aurelion Sol or Bard because you'll get caught out and you'll get picked off very quickly. We saw it towards the end where he could do that a little bit, but there were no objectives for them to capitalize on Cloud9's side.
All right, it's a fun response to what would normally create a lot of map-wide pressure in a 4-1 split to say, we won't let you do that because one, we can collapse on you crazy fast, or two, we as 5 can always get to another lane faster than you and put pressure on a single objective.
Yeah, and I love that this is really comfort for CLG. Dardox, Lee Sin, Aurelion Sol for Huhi. You also have Stixxay's Caitlyn, which is one of his top 2 champions that he's known for. And then you have Aphromu's Bard. This is just a great composition across the board for them that I think really helps CLG's style. And we've known them to be a team that loves to play the map. Now they can outplay the map with this tempo.
And so here's where we're getting into the gameplay itself. We saw these two styles really clashing because CLG first to every objective, right? They were dictating the pace of the game, and Cloud9 forced to be reactive. We saw that right at 9 minutes. The Baron steal, or not Baron steal, the Dragon steal that comes through contracts. I mean, this is just a funny interaction, but once again, it's CLG starting the objective.
Yeah, last number you see is 513. Smite is 510. The Hunter's Talisman does 3 to 4 damage. It doesn't do the full 5 because the Dragon actually has some magic resistance on it, so it's just barely, literally just a single-digit number that mattered there, and that was huge. But I want to go back to your point about CLG getting there first, because Cloud9 were up in gold. CLG were first to Rift Herald, first 3 Drakes, and they also were able to get First Blood, and they were able to get some kills across the map. But the big part there is they were always the ones making the play, and even though they're down in gold, they still had map pressure.
All right, let's jump ahead to another fight, 33 minutes into the game. A 4-for-0 for CLG in the jungle here, once again showcasing the prowess of their 5v5.
Yeah, and you saw right there, the Ash Arrow looking for a pick, the Charm coming out looking for a pick. C9, that's how they want to play the comp. They finally got it together, but they're grouped as 5. They have no split push pressure here. And so CLG just disengage, say, all right, let's force you down mid to make a decision here. You either start the Baron with no tank, so somebody's going to take some damage, or if they push out mid, get priority, and flank.
Now, your pick tools are gone. Our chase tools are still around, so we're going to catch you up here in the jungle and start our own fight.
Exactly. Catch them with the Bard ultimate there, and then the Aurelion Sol for the chase down, the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, as well as just all the damage to come through. This is a big team fight for CLG, and they got to push out the mid first, and they got to take the fight, and it's just really...
There's nothing more depressing than being on the losing end of Aurelion Sol fight, because you can't get away. It just feels helpless, and we saw every single summoner spell used by C9 in that fight, and yet all of them but Ray die. So, I mean, a big fight win for CLG there, but again, it seemed like in that moment, C9 didn't correctly identify, once again, their win conditions. They took the stab at it, and then didn't realize without these tools, we need to get out of here and do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's so hard, though, for C9 to actually function in terms of this composition against the one that Counterlogic Gaming did. Because like I said, you want to split push this Kennen, but you always have to watch out for the ultimate of the engage of the Bard onto your 4-man unit to start a fight, for the Aurelion Sol to roam and actually push out and get to where the Kennen is. So there's all these things you have to balance, and it really sucks. And you can even see, like, Cloud9 struggle with that, because CLG had control of all the objectives. I talked about the 4, and they got the first Baron by sneaking it as well by playing the map better.
I mean, the one time we did see the split set up, even as Ray was being a mechanical god in the bot lane, all of CLG was able to rotate down to the bot lane and eventually kill him while C9 was trying to do the same thing. They just simply didn't get there in time. CLG gets advantage. One more team fight to take a look at, 35-30 into the game in the mid lane. 3-for-1. This, once again, C9 overreaching where it doesn't feel like this is where their comp excels.
Yeah, you actually had Stixxay dead ahead of time, so they're trying to force. So C9 say, this is our opportunity. They don't have their tank line there either, but they just dive on this composition that has the Aurelion Sol, the kickback, stopping them from actually getting in, and that's just one of those things where you're trying to force an advantage, but you can't really do it against this comp. And I think that that's just, once again, CLG having a really good draft.
Yeah, and as we award Huhi player of the game here on that Aurelion Sol, I'm going to come back to you with something that I've asked a million times before when seeing him play this champion. I mean, here, this is the best reminder that Huhi should not be allowed to play a champion like Aurelion Sol, but also, when will other mid laners start picking this champion up? It's clearly effective. Why not use it?
Yeah, I'm actually really unsure as to the answer. We saw some mid laners when Huhi was first bringing it out, kind of pick it up over in Korea, make it their specialty a little bit, but nobody's really done it as much as Huhi has. Guy is 7-2 right now, all time in the NALCS in terms of record on that champion. And you saw there, 40% of his team's damage. Disgusting. You'd think people want to pick it up. It's so hard to master, and if you actually just misstep, then you're going to be like wasting a whole bunch of your time. like losing the game for your team, but also losing your practice time, losing your solo queue time where you're trying to learn all these other champions. And he just really jumped on that train early, and he's never kind of gotten off that bike where it's like he can just keep getting back up on it, right? It's like, haven't played it in 3 weeks, totally fine, get me Aurelion Sol.
Yeah, he kind of slots in on that champion, no problem every time. Final question, this is a big ticket one. On the outset of week 1 here for CLG, Dardoch in on the new roster. How do you feel about his performance and the teams as a whole?
I'm just excited about Counterlogic Gaming altogether. They just took down the team that got second place that we knew was coming in without some type of MSI hangover. They were able to do that.
And no roster change.
Exactly. With no roster change, and they were able to actually do that pretty, like, I wouldn't say handily, but pretty good, right? It wasn't something where I'm like, oh man, that's awful.
Right.
But they were able to come back from a deficit of 1-0, and they're able to turn it around. So I'm excited because I think CLG is going to start looking like the old CLG, because in spring, it was like, oh man, this doesn't feel like my CLG team. This doesn't feel like the playmakers, the guys who want to go in, who want to play the map, who have those great level 1s. Now I think that identity's coming back. They're going to have more of those things they're throwing your way, those cheap jungle invades that people are like, oh, they caught me off guard. They're going to try to get every advantage they can. I'm looking forward to those plays from people like Aframu and Darshan.
I mean, yeah.
Dardoch.
I mean, Dardoch being a star player, you're going to look for him to define the play style of the team that he's on. We've got more league action coming your way. Up next, Smithy makes his debut on Immortals as they face Phoenix 1. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Can they get him away with this one? Gonna go for the snipe, not gonna go for much more! You're kidding! He got it with the W! No, it was the dot from Talisman! The smite came early, and Talisman took the kill on the Drake! What a great sneak out of CLG. Suddenly, oh no, Contrast can see them. They've got Nightmare. He's gonna go with this body slam. Darshan tries to win the time. The kickback as well, and this time CLG secures it.
Just go.
Guys, up here.
He's up. Careful, don't die.
I pulled him now.
We have no reason to die. He's gonna die.
Let's do burn.
Oh yeah, boys.
Let's do burn.
Go.
The follow-up CC could be there to slow the explosive cast. The bot laner is down 1-0, and now Counterlogic Gaming looking to close it out. And Counterlogic Gaming take down Cloud9 in the first match of the split.